Hi everyone, it's your favourite Atomic Blonde here with a little special. Hope you're all doing well. Work has been kicking my butt. So just wanted to say I would normally do like a separate review for these trailers, but I don't know what happened in Hollywood TV world this week. But everybody just seems to want to drop a trailer, and boy, have we got some bangers. Now, I was umming and ahhing whether to show the trailers, but I think one's WB and they always copyright strike you. So I've opted on the side of caution because I really don't have time to re-edit and cut and do things right now. So just really wanted to dive on and just give some thoughts over, what's come out in sort of like last sort of 24, 48 hours, I guess, or even over the course of this week. So, obviously I covered the Tron Ares sort of teaser trailer we had a little while ago. And obviously we've all got our reservations. It is Disney after all. And also what we keep seeing, like I talked about in my Superman review, go check that out, that Hollywood really doesn't seem to know how to market films anymore, and the trailers actually put you off wanting to go see the film. Now, one that really bucked that trend, which I'm very excited for, is Weapons, which is coming out next month. When I went to go see, what did I go see? I don't think it was Superman. It was one before that. Might have been Bloodlines, I think. And there was a second trailer for Weapons on that. It just made me want to see it even more. So we just got a little bit more of what was going on, but without spoiling the film. And that is exactly what we've got here with Tron Ares. So, as I said, Disney don't have a great track record of marketing their films recently. But the teaser trailer got us all excited. The new Tron trailer, I'm even more excited for this film. I have to say, it's confirmed that we've got some kind of version of Kevin Flynn, whether he survived, because it looked like he died in Tron Legacy, but maybe, he was in that world a long time. Maybe he created a backdoor or something, or it's an avatar or some sort of digital version. We don't know. Can't wait to find out. But obviously, he is in the film. We still haven't seen anything of Sam Flynn and all of that. I've seen some interviews, and then the guy's like very, very cagey about it all. But I have to say, this trailer done its job. With that 9 Inch Nails soundtrack just kicking in, it looks amazing. I'm just so hoping, with everything crossed, that this film delivers. I am a Tron fan. It's not for everybody. It's not a major franchise. It's if you grew up in the 80s like I did, and I mentioned this in the teaser trailer, I remember going to cinema to see Tron, and it was just nothing like we've ever seen before. And obviously this is just as computers were starting to come out and become, like gaming consoles and things were just starting to come into the home. I know people can't fathom that now. But Tron was just nothing like we'd ever seen, and I've recently rewatched it, and I still love it. I do like Tron Legacy. It's not a perfect film, but I thought it was a pretty decent follow-up. It just wasn't a rehash of the first film, and that's the thing I'm really excited about. This doesn't look like a rehash of anything we've seen before. Like, coming into our world, you've got great cast with additions of Gillian Anderson and Pete Evans, who I think is playing Cillian Murphy's character from Legacy's brother. Because obviously Cillian Murphy either wasn't available or didn't want to do it. I don't know. But this trailer is what a trailer is meant to do. I am even more excited for this film. I just, like I said, it's, we've had to wait 15 years for this sequel. And it really was touch and go whether we were going to get it. And in some ways, I'm glad that it's, I would have preferred it, a bit closer to the time, but actually having that delay is now not been made at peak woke Hollywood time, where we probably just would have had a load of girl bosses running around, especially because it's made by Disney. There's still that risk, we've seen certain female characters in the trailer, but hopefully, they've learned their lesson. We'll have to wait and see. but coming out in October, I think it's the 10th of October. I am so excited for this film. Go check out the trailer. Let me know what you think. I think they've done a great job. Absolutely banging. And talking of banging trailers, Mortal Kombat 2. Wow. I mean, the original Mortal Kombat films, right? They're so of their time. They're so cheesy. They're so naff, and I love them. And then when they were remaking Mortal Kombat, again with modern, effects and all that kind of thing, and they showed the first like 7 minutes, which looked absolutely amazing, and then we got the film, and it just so disappointing. Again, it's not a terrible film. I've rewatched it. You can rewatch it, but it just doesn't have that heart and soul of Mortal Kombat, what we remember. Again, the game I played growing up in the arcades and on the older PlayStation. Used to love Mortal Kombat, and and then they were making. So I was surprised it actually got a trailer. I mean, I don't remember it doing that well, but when they said they were casting Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, and a lot of eyebrows raised, like, isn't Carl Urban a bit old for that? I mean, great actor. I mean, you'll know if you watch his channel, I'm a huge Carl Urban fan. Absolutely love his stuff. And I'm just going to digress for 30 seconds. Taika Waititi, no. Just no. Stay away from Judge Dredd. That is the worst thing. I have been like, please give us a sequel to Dredd with Carl Urban. Please. If we're in the land of sequels, requels, reboots, give us a sequel to Judge Dredd. And as Hollywood does, it gives it one hand and then takes it straight away, saying, hey, guys, you're going to get that Judge Dredd film, but Taika Waititi's going to make it. Just no. His humor has got no place in the Judge Dredd world. It's going to be an absolute disaster. I mean, the outpouring I've seen so far of people just going, no, we do not need Dredd, Love and Thunder. Thank you very much. I mean, I have a soft spot for the Stallone Dredd film with Roy Schneider. It's not a Dredd film. It's not, but again, it's a bit like the Mortal Kombat or I films from the 80s, 90s. Like, they have their place. They're cheesy. They're not great. But you kind of have a soft spot, and they tried to bring that stupid sense of humor into it and dial down on the violence and the rawness of the Dredd comics and 2000 AD and all of that. And you can't, and Dredd was such a brilliant film. Just give it back to the original director. I think it was David Leitch, who was like one of my favorites. Atomic Blonde, Bullet Train, Fall Guy. Just give it back to him and give us a banging sequel. Taika, jog on, my friend. But I've seriously digressed for more than a couple of seconds there, but I just had to get it out because I don't have time to make a video on it, and I am pissed. But back to Carl Urban. So when the trailers dropped, what we see is it's like an aged up Johnny Cage. So it makes sense why Carl Urban's been cast, and they kind of think Johnny Cage was again this sort of like 20 years before, like 90s, early noughties. He's this movie star, Johnny Cage, and these films. And the trailer has done such a good job of getting me excited for this film. It's like initially you're like, oh, the first one's a bit naff, right? Where are they going with the sequel? Love Carl Urban, but how does that work with Johnny Cage? And this trailer does what a trailer should do. Like, people are buzzing and going, that film looks banging. Again, out in October. I hope that it's just like, like a lot of trailers, we're just sort of seeing the good bits. Again, we don't really know. Well, is there ever a story to Mortal Kombat other than you have been selected for Mortal Kombat and you get dragged off to another realm? No, not really. So I can't say the storyline, but I'm excited for this film. So October, I mean, normally, this is not the time for you come out of the summer, not much really going on. October, we've now got two huge films that will look like two really good action films coming out with Tron on the 10th and Mortal Kombat on the 24th. There's a bit of a gap there as well, so they're not treading on each other's toes, which is great. I am really, really buzzed and excited for these films. I just hope they're as good as the trailers. And again, I'm sort of at that pace. We could probably, I think it's the first Mortal Kombat trailer we've had. So yeah, maybe another one. Don't give us too much more around Tron. You've done your job. You've got us excited. Don't ruin it, Disney. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on both these films. Where are you on the Tron franchise? Where are you in the Mortal Kombat? I guess it is a franchise. I mean, come on, they do what they say on the tin. They're never supposed to like really make you think, but hey, if you want an action and leave your brain at the door, Mortal Kombat, I reckon that's a great one. Tron Ares still, I think, will have more layers to it, or it should have more layers to it. Yeah, really excited for these. So the other trailers we've had this week are actually like TV show trailers, moving away from films. And yeah, again, I mean, Stranger Things, final season. We had a bit of a teaser. We've now had the trailer. We know the dates they're coming out. I think it's like Thanksgiving in America, so November 24th, I think. Don't hold me to that. And then obviously like over Christmas and New Year. Great bit of strategy. I mean, you got a captive audience, right? We're all in. We're all eating too much. Let's watch Stranger Things. Great bit of planning there by Netflix. And obviously it's been a bit of a mixed bag. It's been a bit of a roller coaster with Stranger Things, but they absolutely pulled it out the bag with season 4. Boy, did they come back with a bang and get that show back on track. 3 is definitely the weakest, and I don't know if it was just that they, you know, to make the story happen, you know, they had to bring in that Russian element. And how could they do that? But then being under an American mall was just stupid. I'm sure they could have come up with a better way, but whatever. You know, but I recently rewatched all 4 seasons in preparation for this coming out. Wasn't sure when it was coming out this year, but I've obviously got time to rewatch it again. But I'll probably rewatch season 4 again before season 5 comes out. And it looks strong. It does look strong. The trailer certainly looks like it's in the same vein, same tone as season 4. I'm really hoping that's the case. I mean, you know, we've been waiting a long time. You know, it's been like 2 to 3 years between some of the seasons. I noticed they did give away a bit of a, you know, we've got the cliffhanger that Max is in a coma. But then there's a scene where like she's like being like protected and held while there's stuff going off, so she clearly wakes up. So well done, Netflix, giving away that one. But other than that, I'm excited for this. I think a lot of people are excited for this based on season 4. Let's just hope they don't go backwards. Let's not slide into season 3, please. But it looked cracking. I say it looked cracking. And again, it's the final season, right? All bets are off. We don't know if everybody's going to make it. Final seasons, people can bite the dust, and we've seen people bite the dust in Stranger Things, right? So yeah, excited for this. I also want to try and go see the stage play, which is kind of the prequel. It's all about Venka's story, which is on in London before season 5 comes out. So I'm trying to get tickets for that. So we'll let you know if and when I get to go and what I think of that as well. So yeah, Stranger Things. Love to know your thoughts on that one. It's such a mixed bag of a series. But the trailer looks good. So again, guys, keep everything crossed. Alien Earth. So again, I think very mixed reactions to this show. Oh, it's, you know, it's supposed to got nothing to do with Alien Romulus, but is like a prequel, or I don't know. It's a bit confusing, the timelines and that. I think something has come out on when this is actually set. I just haven't had a chance to look at it. Do let me know if you know, but I think that's created more confusion for people. And I think, yeah, there's a little bit of fatigue around this franchise that, you know, ever since Aliens, we've not really had a cracking Alien film. I quite like, I think I said before, the director's version of Alien versus Predator. I know that wasn't particularly well received, but the director's version I actually quite like, and I often rewatch that AVP Requiem is one of the worst films ever made. I don't know what possessed them to make that film. Again, Alien Romulus, I actually quite liked. Yes, it had its flaws, but I kind of liked how they were, you know, sort of, and there was a little bit too much key jangling. I get it, but, you know, it was watchable, enjoyable, it was entertaining. So there we are. So up until this point, I have liked the teasers and the trailers, and the marketing around this has actually been really good. Again, this is Fox, Hulu arm of Disney, which do tend to do things better. The trailer that came out this week, funnily enough, was probably the one that least excited me out of everything I've seen so far, ironically. So out of all the sort of trailers that came this week, I was a bit like, oh, okay. I think, again, they're probably overdoing it. I mean, this comes out in a few weeks. It's at the 8th of... the 12th of August. Sorry, the date's back to run. They just need to stop now, right? We've had enough. Like, there's a ship. They've been gathering samples. One of those samples is a xenomorph. It crashes onto Earth, and all hell breaks loose, right? That's all we need to know right now. We don't need to know anything else. And then sort of final one was in sort of, you know, drip feeding stuff in around, you know, the synthetics and this and that. Let's just leave it. Just let us find out. I'm still excited for this. From what I've seen in the previous trailers, it could go in a really, really interesting direction. And like I say, I have a bit more faith in sort of Fox, Hulu than I do Disney. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Just given the whole track record of the, say, Alien franchise, it's literally 50-50, right, guys? It could go either way. It could either give us a completely new, energized, refreshed version of where the story can go, or we're just going to see lots of rehashing, girl bosses, insufferable people preaching at us rather than actually focusing on killing the aliens. So we'll have to wait and see. But I am excited based on what I've seen. It's just this last trailer, I think, just left me a bit cold because we really don't need to know anymore. So a couple of weeks' time, we will know. And lastly, Alice in Borderland 3. I talked about this ages ago. I think we found out last year. It's a Japanese show on Netflix. I'm pretty sure I watched this. Yeah, I watched it. So Alice in Borderland season 1 came out before Squid Game, or certainly was on Netflix before Squid Game. And I remember watching this show going, this is amazing, right? So you got this premise that there's these four young Japanese lads all sort of having a bit of a sort of crisis, that they don't really know what they want to do. They're not meeting their potential. They're in trouble with their parents all the time. They're a little bit sort of drifting, you know, which doesn't go down too well in Japanese culture, you know. And they go into Tokyo to the famous crossing there. And then there's this weird event happens. Although they're mucking around, and they nearly get sort of run over, and then a policeman's chasing them. So they run inside and hide in these toilets, and then all the lights start flashing on and off, and this sort of event happens, and you sort of see this comet going over, or it looks like a comet or a meteor. And then they come out the toilet, and the whole of Tokyo is just completely deserted. There's nobody there. And then this unravels, and they gradually find other people, and then there's this series of games that happen. It's all around these playing cards, and yeah, it's sort of similar vein in that you know, these are life or death games, and basically over 2 seasons, they carry on playing these games, and they had to figure out how to leave this world. I think it's based on manga, some manga comic stories, and the stories that we had were seasons 1 and 2. Absolutely brilliant shows. I remember watching this, and then when Squid Game came out, they're similar but different. You know, they are playing games, and people do die, but it's a very different setup, very different reasons. But if you like Squid Game, you will love Alice in Borderland. It's a cracking show. Again, you can watch it subtitles or dubbing. It's in both. So what's interesting about this one, I have to say the trailer looked good. It looked interesting, but like I say, seasons 1 and 2 completed the manga series. So this is completely new story, is my understanding. There's no source material this one's based on. Now, being Netflix, this could go either way as well. So, you know, it was kind of wrapped up. We understood why they were in Borderland, how do they get out, and what is the concept of Borderland, which I will not ruin for you, but do go check it out. So how this is going to come back into play, where they're going to take this story, because I think I don't believe there's going to be an Alice in Borderland 4, so this is them wrapping it up, I believe. But I guess because it's done so well in the ratings, Netflix wanted a third story, so I'm hoping they can do it justice, but it's always a little bit of a worry if you don't have that source material. But saying that, I mean, I've not read the manga comics. I don't know how close it was to the source material. I think it was pretty close from what I've seen and heard. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. But the trailer looks good. Definitely piqued my interest in that. I just don't want it to be a bit of a rehash of 1 and 2. If they're going to do it, they need to bring something new to the table. But the original cast or the leads from the original have come back for this, so that's good, you know. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. This is coming out September, so not too long to go, and gives you time to watch Alice in Borderland seasons 1 and 2 if you haven't. Like I say, if you're a Squid Game fan, certainly the first season, this is right up your street. Do go check it out. Love to know your thoughts. Where are you on all of this, all these trailers? I mean, you know, none of these are originals. Well, I suppose Alice in Borderland 3 is an original, even though, you know, but it is a part 3. We're on Stranger Things 5, Alien Earth, obviously based on the Alien thing. We've got Tron, which is the 3rd film, Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, oh my goodness. I've had this rant a million times on here, you know, originality, please. But if they turn out to be really good sequels and take stuff in new directions, it's almost as good as having an original story, right? If it brings something completely new and it's like fresh, a sequel can be as exciting as a new film. So, yeah, interesting week. It felt like every time I put on YouTube, there was a new trailer to watch. So a lot of buzz going on right about now. I mean, we haven't got much to look forward to. Got Fantastic Four next week. Can't wait. But saying that, actually, they dropped a trailer this week that actually made the film look quite good. I think if they started with that trailer, it'd be a lot more interesting than what we've got. But it does appear like we've got this is the greatest Marvel thing since the last Marvel thing, and this is the best Marvel thing ever made. And Pedro is Reed Richards. He will, you know, everybody, all the naysayers, he'll prove you wrong. So as ever, the shills are shilling, but maybe they're right, and I love for them to be right, because I am desperate for a decent Marvel film, like I was desperate for a good Superman film. It wasn't as bad as Marvel films, but go check out my review to know exactly what I thought on that one. Oh, and guys who have left me comments, I will be replying to you this weekend. Like I say, work has been kicking my butt the last 3 weeks. I have had no time whatsoever, crazy hours. That's why I'm looking a bit rough, back around the eyes. So I really wanted to jump on this morning and yeah, just talk about these trailers. Love to get your thoughts. Yeah, so I will be back next week with Fantastic Four. I think I'm planning on going to see on Saturday. Yeah, on Saturday. I'll let you know. And I will say that I think I said a while ago when I went to go see Working Man, go check out that review. It's also free on Amazon Prime right now. There was a problem starting the film, and they started about half an hour late. They had to keep turn it off and turn it back on again. And yeah, so I got a free voucher. So I'm using that free voucher. So I'm not actually giving Disney Marvel any of my hard-earned money to go see Fantastic Four, and I won't feel quite so bad if it is rubbish. But anyway, I digress. I brought this up to say, as always, guys, please do like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. All the interactions are so important to such a small channel as mine. It's so hard to get it out there and grow the channel. I'm kind of stuck just under 100 subscribers, which is amazing. But it'd be really good to have a bit of a push. It's so hard at the moment because I barely have time to make content. But I'm doing what I can, and that's why I love your interactions and to know what you think, because I know it's getting out there. So I will be back next weekend with my fantastic 4 first steps review. Keep everything crossed for me. Taking one for the team here, guys, but I'm hoping against hope that it's good or watchable at least. I'll be back then. So you all have a good weekend. And you take care. Bye now.